How do you become a real estate agent? What's involved in getting licensed? How much does it cost? How long does it take? What should you do when you're looking to interview a broker? What is your salary going to be like? What can you expect? Should you do it part-time? Should you do it full-time? So many questions to ask as a new agent and so much to learn. It's a really great field. I've absolutely loved it, but there's a lot to know before you jump in with both feet. You might want to watch this video and learn a little bit about the first year in real estate and what happens. Well, there are a couple basic requirements. You have to be at least 18 years old and you have to have a high school diploma or an equivalent. That's step one. And then from there, you are going to have to take a DPOR, which is Department of Regulation and Occupation. They are going to have an approved 60-hour course that you need to take. That can be online and it can be in person. A lot of brokerages will have those as a way to bring in new agents. There'll be a small fee associated with taking that, whether it's online or in person. And then from there, you're going to need to pass an exam as a final part of that course by a certain percentage in order to get that requirement alleviated. From there, you are going to have to then sit for a state licensing exam, and that has both a national component and a state component to it, and you have to pass that with a certain amount of correct answers in order to become a licensed real estate agent in the state of Virginia. From that point on, you're going to need to have a broker that you're aligned with, and a broker's job is to basically supervise you as you're an agent and a newer agent. A lot of those brokerages are going to have different programs, so you're going to want to interview a lot of different brokerages. When I was new, I didn't realize that I was really supposed to be interviewing them. I thought they were interviewing me, so you kind of want to be aware of the process. A lot of brokerages are going to want to sign you up if you have passed your exam, so come at it from an approach of getting lots of information. Look online, look at all the brokerages in your area and figure out which ones have what you want. Brokers can vary dramatically on what they offer, and some of them are going to have more education and lean more on you understanding everything, and others are going to have more of like a team approach. So there's lots of different focuses that you can have, and different brokerages are going to offer different things to you. You also need to shop your compensation packages because all brokerages are going to be different on what compensation they give you as a starting newer agent. So being aware of all the things that you should be focusing on as a new agent and learning about, and then figuring out where your strengths and weaknesses are, is really going to matter in what brokerage that you align with in the beginning. But you definitely need to sign up with a brokerage, and from there you are going to need to get your certificate. Once you're aligned with a broker, you're going to get your license signed up with that brokerage, and that way you'll be ready to do work as a real estate agent. But you still don't know very much at that point. You know very little because these courses don't prepare you for the real life work of a real estate agent, and that is what I found out when I was a new agent. It's just really like an exam to kind of get you up to speed a little bit with contracts and things, but from there you really need to exercise experience and work with a broker to have knowledge, and it takes a few years to do that. So how long does it take? You should be able to get licensed and be able to start working as an agent in under 4 months. That completes the course that you have to take, and it also includes the state licensing exam. It just is going to depend on how efficient you are, and setting up the exam and things that you have to take also will have a little bit of a delay, but you should be able to get it done in 4 months. Another question that I get is, what are the differences in real estate agent versus a broker or a realtor? There's a lot of terms out there that I want you to understand. Real estate agent is just somebody who has their real estate license. They are working under a real estate broker who is like a supervisor to run a brokerage unless they have a broker license. So a lot of the businesses are going to have a broker that's like a supervisor, and that requirement is another 180 hours of a broker course, and then you have to sit for your broker license. So brokers, actually you'll see them managing and running offices of real estate agents. Sometimes you'll see, as you're out there selling houses, you'll see an agent that has listed associate broker. That just means that they have their brokerage license, but they are not acting as a broker, they're acting as an individual agent. It's just an extra credential and education that they might have. And what is a realtor? Realtors are just agents that are part of the National Association of Realtors. So they have this extra code of ethics that they go by, and they are required to go by in order to keep their license and designation as a realtor. So a lot of real estate agents and most people are just going to have the regular real estate agent credential, and that's all that's required when you take that state license test. You do have your post-licensing coursework that you're going to have to take. Even after your license, in the first 2 years, you have another add-on of 32 hours that you have to take of additional education in the first 2 years that you're an agent. And then each year that you're an agent after that, you're going to have to take 16 hours each year or every 2 years to get your license renewed. So it's constant coursework and constant making sure that you understand all the rules of the contracts and ethics. All this is in order for us to provide the best service to the public. How much can you earn as a real estate agent? That is going to vary drastically. Our commissions are negotiable, so our salary is negotiable. And that includes negotiating with your broker for your split, negotiating with your clients as a buyer's agent, and negotiating with your clients as a listing agent. So as your experience is going to come into play, and as you have more experience, you'll probably get paid more because you'll have more value that you're giving to your clients. But I would say on average, when I look at the research, agents typically on average make in the Northern Virginia area about $100,000 a year, I would say. That doesn't mean, some agents will only sell a house a year and they might make, 10 or 15,000, but on average, they're making about 100,000 if they're working in a full-time capacity as a real estate agent in the Northern Virginia area and actually, selling more than 4 to 6 houses a year. The sky is the limit really on what you can make in real estate. It just depends on what your aspirations are. Another skill that you need to have is resilience and grit. You're going to get knocked down over and over. You're going to go to appointments and you're going to meet with sellers and they're going to say, sorry, we chose somebody else. And you're going to have to get up and not care about that and brush yourself off and go for the next one. So a lot of grit and a lot of rejection is involved in real estate agents' careers and they don't really understand that. Now, when you get started, the number one thing you want to do is build your database. So you're going to get everybody that you know that knows you and likes you and trusts you. And that's number one. You build that database and you go from there because that's the number one way to get business in the beginning. But you've got to understand that that is not going to support you 100%. You're going to have to go after it in other ways. And that requires grit and resilience to keep going, even when you're knocked down and you get no over and over again. I would say negotiating skills is another thing. Negotiating for the client on their behalf, but also negotiating in order to get the deal, in order to get the buyer agency signed, in order to get the listing agreement signed, in order to get that cut that you want with your broker. You're gonna have to be a good negotiator and you're gonna have to understand giving and taking in the process of getting a deal agreed to. Tech savvy. We're constantly changing with AI and everything. So you gotta be somebody that enjoys learning about the latest technology and how that catapults you in your career, sets you above other agents and really helps your clients to get what they need. When you know more about all the different technologies and ways to work, get e-signatures and just things like that. There's so many different pieces of technology in real estate. Problem solving. We are 100% problem solvers as real estate agents. That's all we do from morning to night is figure out how to problem solve and how to help our clients win deals by solving problems. Getting a deal approved on both sides because we're going to solve a problem that the seller has that needs to get resolved and that sets our buyers ahead in a negotiating, or whether we're under contract in a house and we have some inspection items come up and we need to problem solve to figure out how we're going to get that taken care of before the closing. So lots and lots of problem solving comes about, and being able to collaborate with people. Go to other agents in your office and talk to them about what they do in this kind of situation to try and figure out the best resource and the best pathway for each thing. I would say networking and relationship building, getting out there in the community, volunteering, whatever it is your personality style is. Some people are really social and they tend to join teams, get out in sports, socially network. That's a great resource for people who are super expressive. And then other people who are more analytical and quieter, they might network in other ways, like maybe you might have a group that you do a book club with or something like that. Maybe you're just going to be a quieter person and you're just going to get your deals from buying leads or something like that. There's all different personality styles, all different methods to get business in real estate. You just got to go after whatever it is that works for your personality, and usually you find one that comes naturally and easier to you, and that's the one you should stick with. Some bonus traits to being a real estate agent would be being super flexible with your schedule. If you are somebody that is super rigid and you want to work 9 to 5 and you don't want to work weekends and evenings, real estate is not your career. But if you're flexible and you're the kind of person that will devote endless amounts of time to something, real estate is probably for you. I would also say market knowledge. If you're from the area and you know it really well, maybe you've grown up in the area that you want to work in, it's awesome. You have a leverage over everybody else that is new to the area or just moved there because you know it like the back of your hand. And when you know local nuances, it's a real big asset to buyers. And so you can really provide a good service for them. I would like to say confidence, buyers and sellers, they want to work with somebody that knows the area. They want to work with somebody that knows the contract. So really being confident without being arrogant, because nobody wants to work with somebody that thinks they're better than they are, and arrogance is a definite no-no in real estate. But I would say confidence and the ability to believe in what you are doing and the contract says, and just knowing all the knowledge points that you need to know is really going to set you apart from the other agents in the business. And it makes your clients more comfortable to work with you, and they know that you've got it and you're going to run with it and get them where they need to go. Should you start off as a part-time real estate estate agent and then go to full-time? The answer to that is going to be within you, I think, and what your ability is financially. I started off part-time because I had my husband making a full-time paycheck, and like, you know, it gave me the ability to not have a regular income. And so if you want to start part-time, you're probably going to have a full-time career doing something else. And what that does for you is it gives you a steady income while you are learning about real estate and getting all of the courses done and getting your confidence built and doing a couple deals. But don't count on it working out really super easy for you doing it that way, because real estate is a full-time job. And when you do something full-time and put 100% into it, it's a way different experience. And as soon as I went full-time, my life got a lot easier as a real estate agent, because I was doing something every single day, learning everything I could, and the job got a lot easier for me a lot faster. I would say there's pluses and minuses to it, but you've got to be able to support yourself for about 6 months. Not to say you won't get a deal in your first 3. You may get 3 deals in your first 3. It just depends, and sometimes it's a luck of the draw in the environment, who around you is buying and selling. Get out there, get to know all of your friends and family, know that you're a real estate agent, you've got your license, and you've got your broker's experience behind you, and you're ready to go, and you can help them buy or sell. You're going to want to offer to do like free valuation on their house, offer to inform them about any hot sales that come up if they're looking. There's lots of ways that you can start working with your sphere of influence to get yourself running in the beginning and get that first couple deals under your belt before you start spending money on anything else. Just go with your database at first, and then anything your broker says to do. Probably going to advise you to do open houses. Those are a great way for new agents to get out there, meet people, learn how to talk to them, and learn how to answer their questions when you're in the public representing, you know, a seller at an open house. Maybe you get an open house from somebody in your office and you can market that and learn from them. That's the most important thing to do in the beginning, is just to get out there and talk to people and learn the ropes that real estate agents go through so that you can get your first couple deals under you. So factors that are going to influence how much money you make is going to be obviously your experience. As you become more experienced and you have more value for your clients, they're going to be willing to pay you a better split as you're negotiating with them, whether you're their buyer's agent or the listing agent. And then also with that experience and volume in your career, your broker might be able to pay you more. So you'll be able to negotiate with that also. There's also options to get into luxury or commercial. If you wanted to add that to your resume, then you definitely could build and become more of a luxury agent, or you could get into commercial where there's, you know, obviously a higher dollar price on those, and that's going to give you opportunities. The ability to negotiate, 1 for yourself and 2 for your clients, is what really sets you apart as a successful agent, is going to help you to make more money in real estate overall. The sky is the limit. You just got to go for it. When you're picking a broker, I wanted to go over a couple things that you probably want to have in mind to discuss with them when you're meeting with them. First and foremost would be your commission split. Next is going to be your education. Like, what do they do to get you educated? A lot of new brokers will have a class that they'll start off all their new trainees in. Do they have a mentorship program, like where they're going to take an experienced agent to put you under their wing and kind of guide you as you go? What kind of training do they have? What kind of technology does that brokerage have? Do they offer a lot of nice websites that they're going to give you with maybe some paid advertising, PPC, that's going to give you some starts? Or maybe they offer you a free CRM in there that's going to help you to get started. The less outlay you have on yourself and the more your company gives you in the beginning, the easier it is for you to get started. After a while though, you're probably going to want to rely on your own resources, just because that way you have everything in a system that's not reliant on branding. Becomes like kind of a bigger thing, and you're going to probably want to brand yourself rather than them. A lot of the brokerages offer these services to you, but then they brand themselves with those services. And a lot of times when you get to be an experienced agent after 5 or 6 years, you kind of want your own branding coming first. So you might in the beginning just want to start off with what the broker offers you that's free. So consider what they do for technology, consider what marketing they give you, consider how they're set up. Do they have a team kind of environment, or are you just kind of on your own? And then you're going to have to weigh that with your personality and decide what your needs are. If you're one that really needs a lot of socialization in the office, what's that culture like? Is that culture really a social environment, or is it kind of like not really existent there, and that's going to make you suffer and feel like you're lonely? Because real estate agents work on their own much of the day, and so you have to, that office culture is really going to dictate how well you do and what your personality style needs are, combined with that office, to ensure you succeed in the first year. So really pay attention to that, because it's easier to get it right the first time than it is to move and transfer everything to another brokerage and all your marketing and things like that. So spend time on that up front, understand, visit with the broker a couple times, understand the culture and everything. Super important. The good old little asking for referrals doesn't hurt. I honestly hate asking for referrals, I'm gonna be honest. But you can say it in ways that are a little more creative than like, oh, by the way, I'm never too busy for any of your referrals. I think just saying to your clients, hey, if you hear of anybody that's looking to buy or sell, I'm here to help you or anyone else. Just keep me in mind. That's enough every now and then. You don't need to say it too much. Simply by just keeping value first to them and how can you serve them is gonna keep you top of mind in their head. So if you just provide services to them and say, hey, I provided your value update. Did you get it? Did you have any questions? Why don't I provide that for you? When anything really big changes in your neighborhood, I'll keep an eye out and I'm going to inform you first. That is enough. You don't need to keep beating the drum. But what you could do is you could send them things of value. Like if it's a holiday, you could send them a card and say, hey, just thinking of you. Hope you have a great Thanksgiving. Enjoy your holiday season and Happy New Year and things like that. That keeps you top of mind also, in addition to adding the value in the other ways that I already mentioned. Once you get up and running and maybe you really are into things like video, social media is a huge platform that you could take advantage of, and that's going to help you to keep up to date with your friends and your database at the same time. Posting on those regularly and interacting with people when they post is going to help you to also become other people aware that you're a real estate agent online. So you can set up a business page on your Facebook if you use Facebook, and you can have a title, keep it all the same. So all of your different platforms will have your name, and you're probably going to want to be licensed as a business eventually and get an LLC and things like that. So think of one name and think ahead what will work for you as a title that's kind of catchy, and then you can build your business name everywhere. Both on the platforms that you can sign up for, like Zillow and Trulia and things like that, that you can put actually your information in. There's a lot of real estate databases where they keep all the agents' information, and you can get on there and search. Just do a Google search about yourself and see what information, or maybe Google a big agent in the area and see all the different sites that come up for that agent, and then get on there and register for all of those. And then once you have your business name set up, then you can start your social media under that, and everything you do will have your brand in mind. You can set up your Google business profile, and that's going to be a big thing also that's going to bring awareness. There are people you can ask for reviews when they do a deal with you, and you can ask them to give you a review on Google or on Zillow, and that's going to allow the public to be able to see what you've done for other people, and then they'll perhaps call you on the next deal because you'll come up as a highly rated agent in the area. So Google Business Profile is another thing I really recommend that you do as a new agent. Just get out there and register for anything and everything and constantly learn. Is real estate the right career for you? A lot of that is going to depend on your ability to be independent and work in a field where you don't have a boss. You're your own boss and you make your own hours, and that can be your worst enemy because you're not disciplined to get up and go for it every single day. So that is probably my number one, is your motivation to really make it happen, and then having the ability to be disciplined to learn everything you can, almost like a sponge in the first couple of years, so that you are able to really catapult yourself into a new level and take on new challenges. You got to be able to talk to people, whether it's your clients, and convey clearly what your thoughts are and what the best things you recommend for them. And then listening is completely vital in this career. If you're not somebody that likes to listen, you need to really learn that skill as a real estate agent, because you got to understand what your clients' wants and needs are, and those have to come first above and beyond your need to get a paycheck. I think that is something a lot of new agents forget about, because sometimes you're trying to make ends meet, and to be able to just forego a deal because it's not in the best interest of your client is absolutely essential as a real estate agent. They come first and you come second. So you got to be able to maybe take a part-time job and just do this part-time so that your needs are met and you have a roof over your head and groceries and things like that, and then you're putting your client's needs first at all times, not whether you can pay your bills. I would say then market knowledge, getting out there and learning everything you can about, 1, the contract, 2, your broker's compliances, and 3, just the market, and preview all the houses you can, understand all the neighborhoods, understand how to negotiate, take all the classes that you can. That is going to really set you apart from other people that are maybe not as motivated to be full of knowledge and willing to give everything and anything to their clients. I would say integrity and ethics, again, that plays in so much. Just understanding that doing the right thing, and we don't lie, cheat, steal, obviously, but above and beyond that, we're really going out of our way to represent our clients, whether it means, you might have a dinner appointment or a social event, and you've got a contract come through and that needs to be ratified. That has to come number one above your other social events and anything that matters to you in your life, like your clients and that paperwork are number one. So that is a skill a lot of people just, they don't want to have their career only number one. They want to be able to break it off. But, in real estate, timing is of the essence. You have to be there when you have to be there. It's too bad if you have something important. You got to get it done. So I would say that's another important skill to have and to understand. So lastly, I just want to go over best practices in your first year as a real estate agent, just trying to get yourself going. We talked about the idea that you're going to align yourself with a good broker and you're all set there. Now you're going to need to get out there. I mentioned that you want to start with your sphere of influence. You're going to need to get a CRM set up. So whether you use something like Follow Up Boss or your broker gives you something that's free, get in there and put all your contacts in there, whether it's somebody that cuts your hair, whether it's somebody that you know from college, anybody and everybody. Their parents are fair game. Like, you're just going to put everybody in there, get their email, phone numbers, start something like a birthday list where you're like, hey, it's me, I'm new in real estate, just wanted to wish you a happy birthday. All your friends and family, get out there and talk to people as much as you can. Go to social occasions if you're a social person and get things set up. Plan like a coffee a week is great to get out there with your friends or your friends, people you know in the community, and just get out there and be social and talk to people. Run the open houses for people in your office. Pick up ones that are not in your office. If they're with your brokerage, you can usually hit up other people in other offices too and just say, hey, I can hold an open house for you. And then tell them the results, be super communicative. You can't over communicate in real estate. So just be smiling and positive, and things will come to you as you get out there more and more. You would not believe how it just works for you when you get out there and put yourself out for your friends. Offer things of value to them. Like you could do, like I said, a CMA, learn how to do pricing strategies for people. So practice, say, hey, I know you're not selling your house. I just wanted to give you a value opinion for the year, and I'll update you each year so that you always know the value of your biggest asset. And then eventually they're going to be like, oh yeah, she's been providing this for me. Let me go ahead and have my friends call her, or they'll recommend you when they hear of somebody, because you're keeping in touch with them and they're remembering that you're in real estate. So that's a really important thing that you could be doing. We said the open houses, we said maybe value opinions once a year for people that you know that own houses. If you don't know anyone that owns houses, then you could maybe provide this service for a particular neighborhood and do a couple of them a day and send them out to the neighbors, and just keep consistently advertising that to them. It doesn't cost a lot, it's just the price of a stamp. Good luck with it, and if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out and connect. I'm always happy to help new agents in their endeavors.